beauties. You are listening to the Beauty of the Nile podcast. I'm Jasmine Mobley. The Beauty of the Nile podcast is your space for skincare tips, makeup tricks, inspiration, and motivation, especially for and from women of color. We are here to celebrate and highlight our skin's beauty. Love your brown skin. Each episode features a different guest who will be dropping dimes that help you care for and highlight your skin. I'm excited to be here with you. Let's get started. Today, I'm here with Bea Dixon. Bea is founder and CEO of The Honey Pot. When she was younger, Bea suffered with bacterial vaginosis. One night, an ancestor gave her the ingredients to heal herself in a dream. From that insightful dream, she created the formula for a healthy, clean, feminine wash. In 2014, Dixon launched the Honey Pot Company, a plant-based feminine hygiene line created with a goal to provide women with a healthy alternative to feminine care, free of chemicals, parabens, carcinogens, and sulfates. The rest is history. With experience in pharmaceuticals, retail, and natural foods, Dixon has the insight and expertise to bring this innovative concept of a plant-based feminine care system to the marketplace. The Honey Pot Company currently offers feminine washes, wipes, tampons, pads, mom-made-to-be products, and soon-to-be additional offerings in both the feminine hygiene and feminine care segments. Dixon has been a recipient of Sundial and Unilever's multi-million-dollar New Voices Fund, was one of the first 40 women of color to raise $1 million in venture capital, and has been featured in T-Pain's School of Business, BuzzFeed's Ladylike series, The Today Show, The New York Times, Entrepreneur Magazine, Elle, Essence, and Forbes. Most recently, she was named one of Entrepreneur's top 100 groundbreaking women entrepreneurs of 2019. Her company won a 2020 Essence Best in Black Beauty Award, and she received a CEW Indie 65 Award in 2019, honoring beauty's independent companies. Through her diverse background and experience, Dixon continues to make a mark in the world of natural health and beauty and retail with a truly revolutionary approach to feminine health and sexual wellness. Bea, welcome to the Beauty of the Nile podcast. Bea, how did you decide to take the leap in launching the Honey Pot? Like, what led you to kind of make that step?
I had a dream with my grandmother because I was having bacterial vaginosis recurring like every single month for almost a year. And she told me what to do to fix it. My grandmother is dead, by the way. She's been dead since my mother was 8.
Okay.
So, so I just want to make that clear. But I had a very vivid dream with her, and she told me what to do. And she gave me a piece of paper in the dream and told me to remember what was on the paper. And I did that, and I wrote it down, and I made it, and it worked. And, immediately I was like, wow, if this could work for me, this could probably work for other people. And, I was just driven to kind of be a change in the world that I wanted to live in and offer a product that could potentially make a human with a vagina's life easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, I just aimed for that.
Yeah.
And my brother and some of my friends came along with me on the journey, and here we are.
That's awesome. And it's great that you get to do it with your friends. It seems like you have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, you got that's like, I want to do dope shit with my friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I want to live really well. And I want to live really well with people that I care about. And I want to do dope things for and with people, because I just love humanity. I love,
Yeah, that's awesome. And so, so your grandmother gave you, the idea and basically all the things you would need to make this product. But then, from the idea to actually making it happen, like, did you just say, okay, I have this idea, so I have to go do it? Or was it a process of, evaluating it and thinking about it more?
Absolutely a process. 1000% a process. I made it. It worked for me for like a year and a half. I tried it. I gave it away to anybody who would take it. This was our washes. I gave it away to anybody that would take it. And then a lot of those women were loving it. Most, actually, like 8 out of 10 of those women were loving it. And, you know, that indicated that we had something. And then we went to the Bronner Brothers hair show, and we tested it at that show. We, you know, our thought process was, if we do well at the show, then that says that we have something. And so that's what we did. We did well at the show, and then we just kept trying shit, and it just kept working. You know, there's things that we tried that didn't work. That even happens today, right? But yeah, we just did it. We just went for it.
Right. Okay. Well, that's a pretty good solution. Good way to get there.
Yeah.
And
yeah, the only way to get there is to do it, right?
Right. Yeah.
To get in the car and drive.
Exactly. And so I know you had experience in pharma and in retail and in natural foods. How did those experiences help you maybe when you were developing the product, or even along the way and now?
Everything that I did helped me. It was like this was just in the stars for me, you know, because me being in pharmacy helped me, because when my grandmother gave me the recipe, she didn't give me a recipe. She just said ingredients, right?
Right.
And then I needed to take those ingredients and actually make a formula out of them.
Right.
But all of my years in pharmacy taught me how to do that. Right? Because I worked in all types of pharmacy. I didn't just work in one.
Okay.
And then, you know, from there, I left pharmacy after doing it for 10 years. And then I went to work for Whole Foods, right? And then that taught me how to I did a lot of customer service in pharmacy too. Don't make me wrong, because I was still serving people. But at Whole Foods, I worked in Whole Body, so it was Whole Foods version of a pharmacy, right? And that taught me how to talk to customers. That taught me, you know, then Whole Foods really invested a lot of money into their employees. You know, we got sent on health emergence. You know, I went to the Dr. McDougall's. I call it fat camp, but it wasn't fat camp. That sounds wrong to say. But I went to Dr. McDougall's a health immersion for a week. I mean, that thing was expensive, and Whole Foods paid for that, right? Wow. You know, they would send us to the Gaia Farms, which is in North Carolina, and Gaia is one of my favorite herbal companies. So they make some of the best herbal, you know, oregano oil, olive leaf, you know, think of all the herbs that you can go to the store and buy.
Yeah.
Gaia just does it beautifully, hence the name. Obviously, it would be weird with that name if you didn't do
it well. Yeah.
Right. You know, but they just did stuff like that. You got your discount card for when you bought anything from them, you would get a higher discount if you were healthier.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was just dope, you know?
Yeah.
And so I learned a lot there. I learned a lot about my health. I learned a lot about my body. I learned a lot about herbs. I just learned a lot, because I had really inundated myself in the pharmaceutical world, the Western medicine world. But to come to this other side was really beautiful.
Yeah.
It taught me how to sell. It taught me how to sell products, you know, because I had to sell people's products. I was a salesperson at Whole Foods, right?
Right.
And then I left there and I became a food broker. So now what that did, my last 2 jobs, I was a broker and an area sales manager.
Okay.
But the things that those 2 jobs did is they taught me how to talk to buyers and retailers.
Okay.
So being a sales manager and a broker, instead of if when I worked for Whole Foods, you would have been my customer.
Right.
When I transitioned to be a broker and an area sales manager, Whole Foods became my customer.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
So you got to kind of see both sides.
Yeah, I got to understand reading sales data, and how do you pitch to a buyer, and how do you get a product on the shelf, and what happens once it's on the shelf? How do you move it? How do you market it? How do you promote, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And really from 2012, so from Whole Foods on, I still worked, and we were doing honey pot.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, okay, so that is something that is super interesting to me. I remember hearing you speak previously, and you talked about working a full-time job and doing the honey pot. Like, what was that like? And was it super helpful? Was it just exhausting? And, how do you think it benefit? It just both, everything?
Yeah, it was helpful and exhausting. I've always been a person who's had probably 2 or 3 jobs or one job and a couple hustles. Just because I'm very independent, and I don't ever want to have to depend on anybody else for my basic needs.
Okay.
I gotta eat, I gotta fucking sleep, I gotta drive,
Right.
I gotta buy gas, you know what I mean? I gotta pay for the water and the gas and so I've always been a hustler.
Right.
So I think it helped really work that muscle of hustle.
Right.
I think that it helped to prepare me, because when you're working a job, I was working a job when Simon and I were raising money. I was working a job that required me to travel 3 to 4 weeks out of the month.
Okay.
We were raising money. I was driving on the road, traveling, having to like go do investor pitches, leave those, get back on. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and still run a company, and still make sure we're ordering enough product, and still make sure that like we didn't have hardly any employees then, but who we did have, had to make sure that she was aligned and she was okay. And, so it was hard, but it was really good practice. And I recommend anybody who wants to have their own business, I recommend that you do that, because it teaches you how to fucking be a monster. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
It teaches you how to hustle. It teaches you how to drive. It teaches you how to fucking compartmentalize stress and anxiety, because you gotta fucking work. Right? Like, I gotta pay these bills. I still gotta run this company, even though this company isn't paying me any money. Right? I still have to, we still gotta raise this money. We still gotta like manage each other and our stress together. It was a lot. It was a lot. But
sounds like great experience though, like in the end now.
it was. And I honestly, I wouldn't do it any different.
Yeah.
Because you need that. Because when your business takes off, if you want your business to grow like I want my business to grow, the amount of fucking work that has to be done is remarkable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you you need the practice of having to do a lot of work and still manage your life.
Right. Yeah. Okay, awesome. And how did you decide like it was time to leave your job and go work on Honey Pot full time? Like, did you wait a certain number of years, or did you just decide, okay, I can't do both anymore?
I had to be desperate. It had to be like it got to the place where I literally just could not do it anymore. I was living a double life. I couldn't Honey Pot was taking over my life so much that I had to like stop working in order to do the things. We were well into Target when I quit my job.
Oh wow. Okay.
And also the company had to be able to pay me really more than what I was making at the time.
Okay.
Because I can't be in a situation where I'm desperate and living, and I'm not gonna live on ramen noodles.
Yeah.
That's not healthy. That's not okay.
Yeah.
So for me, there was just no other fucking option.
Right. Right. That's where you drew the line at ramen for every meal.
Yeah, that's impossible. I'm not living like that.
Yeah.
How can you, don't make me wrong. There have been a lot of businesses that are huge. I mean, look at like Airbnb, like that are fucking colossal businesses, right? And those founders, may have gone through their periods of struggle. I didn't have I was the fucking, I was the head of the household financially, right? I didn't have anybody else to like sort me out or pay my fucking bills, or,
right.
you know, I had to do that. So,
right.
you know, so for me, it had to be able to do that indefinitely in order for me to leave.
Yeah. I think that's a really good metric. Okay. So I love to ask, you know, how do you feel that, and you've talked a lot about wellness and all of these things, and I think a lot of these things are intertwined, but how do you feel that feminine care, which is your business, and beauty and wellness are all connected?
Because they are.
Yeah.
You know, I make beauty care products for the vagina.
Yeah.
And I make really clean products that are non-toxic and, you know, and all that jazz. You know, but they all go hand in hand, right? You have to be, your body needs to be well in order for your vagina to be well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's it. Yeah.
it's not a none of this shit is separate. Right? Like you need to make sure that all of your faculties are working, that you're eating well, that you're using the best skincare that you can buy, right?
Right.
Even if that means you're spending a little bit more money, but if you spend more money to eat well and to take care of your skin and to take care of the inside of your body, guess what you won't be spending your money on, most likely, unless something happens. You're not necessarily going to be in the doctor every other month, and you're not going to be dealing with a bunch of health issues. So for me, all of this goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
It's not separate at all.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Okay, awesome. And you talked a little bit about, you know, just challenging moments in building Honey Pot. Is there one day that you can remember that was just like the most challenging moment of building this business?
Yep. I was leaving Wildfire Sales, which was the brokerage I worked for.
Okay.
And I was training my replacement, which is like my sister. She's like one of my best friends in the world. And we were on a road trip from Nashville. I think it was Nashville. Because I was a traveling sales rep. So and most of my travel was in the Southeast. So most of my travel was in a car.
Okay.
And Simon and I were also raising money to get into Target. And an investor had gotten back to us and said that they didn't want to invest because they didn't understand our business model. Meanwhile, we had to pay a bill to the contract because we had been told by Target at this time that we were approved and we were going in. The only thing is we didn't have any purchase orders or anything like that, because that's just not how this shit works. You don't get a purchase order from a retailer until 6 to 8 weeks before you're going in. Right.
Yeah.
So we were raising money to pay bills, and the bills were fucking due. They were overdue. And the investor that seemed like they were going to be a decent one. I mean, they would have put in like 6 figures at least.
Okay.
Had just called and said, "Hey, can't do it." And we needed that money.
Yeah.
Like the desperation was so real. Like we desperately needed that money. Like there were so many times that shit almost didn't work. Like it was like already at this isn't gonna work out. but then something would happen, a rabbit would be pulled out the hat, and then the shit would work out. But thank God to all of our investors that we had, and for my brother, because he ended up putting his own money in too. But that was a rough day, because I was also working for some immigration stuff for a relationship that I was in. So I was managing that. I was managing training her. I'm in a car, hearing from an investor who said that they can't put money in, needing to pay a fucking $100,000 bill.
Yeah.
All at the same time.
Yeah, a lot. It's a lot.
And the desperation, it was just the realest desperation that I've ever felt in my life, because I needed it to work.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah.
And it just wasn't working. How did you get yourself through that? Like just mentally or emotionally, you know, you're just like,
I just fucking cried a lot.
mm-hmm.
And I was extremely anxious.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was not my shining hour.
Yeah.
But it was necessary though, because I'm here now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's all worth it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
awesome. And so where do you see yourself and Honey Pot in the next like 5 to 10 years? What's your vision for this?
Hopefully I don't own it anymore.
Yeah, that's true. It's been in it for a bit now.
Hopefully I'm on a fucking island in Zanzibar.
I hope so too.
With a really pretty girl next to me drinking out of a coconut. Like that's that's where I want to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a good answer.
And somebody is fucking bringing me food, and I have finished my coconut drink, and somehow it's already picked up when I look over. You know what I mean? Like everything is clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very vivid image. That's a really good one.
and the house is like right there, and then the ocean is like right there.
Right.
And,
obviously, like you could just walk right out into it, of course.
And like at least 3 acres of this is mine, so mm-hmm. you know I can just be out here,
right?
You know,
so you have
suntanning my vagina if I wanted to be. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. You don't want neighbors like that. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't care even if I had them, right? This is my space.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So yeah, that's where I hope I am 10 years from now.
That sounds like a really good place to be. I'm
fucking retired.
Then it would all be worth it for you. That's right. Awesome. Okay, cool. And what is the impact that you hope to leave on the world? And this doesn't have to be just with Honey Pot. It can be you, Bea Dixon.
Yeah, the impact it's bigger than Honey Pot. Just to be an example of self-love, and literally like the example that that stress is made up, mm-hmm. and anxiety is made up, and ego is made up, and neurosis is made up, and and that these are just principles and words that we've believed, mm-hmm. and yeah, I that's my ultimate goal in life. Yeah, to not believe that shit. Yeah, right, and to just live in this moment completely awake and completely fine with whatever's here. Yeah, completely fine whether I got a fucking $1 in my pocket or zillions. Right, I'm completely fine. I see the world the same way. In one way, I gotta live how I gotta live. The other way, I can live however the fuck I want to live. Right, but either way, fundamentally at the basics, as long as I'm well and happy and here, yeah. I think that's great. Happiness and wellness are the goal. I think it's really good that you said that, because I think so many people are so focused on doing and getting to the mountaintop that, you know, they lose sight of what you just said, the important stuff. Because you could have all the money in the world and all the success in the world, like you said, and just be unhappy. And yeah, the mountaintop for me, the Himalayas for me is completely cool, no matter what, just fine. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah, I do. Like complete fucking nirvana. Yeah. I think that's a good one. I love that. Yeah, having nirvana and being able to just stay. Yeah, right here. Right. Yeah, be at peace. Yeah, I think that's great. Okay, you talked about this part a little bit, but how important has, you know, loving yourself been to this journey? And it can be like, you know, as a founder, as a woman, as a person of color, how important has self-love
been for you?
It's the most important. It's the most important. I have put in and do and will continue to put in tremendous amounts of work um, to live well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I have fought through so much fucking repression and so much judgment and so much self-judgment and so much fucking um conditioning and so much living how I should live and believing that I wasn't okay, and that somebody was in my life that told me constantly that I needed to change, and what I liked was the wrong things to like, and who I was wrong. And, I believed all that bullshit. Right? When, look, by the time I'm fucking done, man, I'm probably covered in tattoos. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I like that shit. That does something for me. I like that. Right?
Right.
I like to smoke a joint every now and again. I like that shit. Right?
Yeah.
I don't care if I got $10 in my pocket. If I want to go somewhere, I'm gonna fucking go. Yeah. Right? I'm gonna just figure out how to do it on that amount of money. How I see myself and what I believe, is the most important thing.
Right.
If when I believed all the things that human told me, he didn't do that shit to me. I did that to me. I believed it. Right? I allowed that. He didn't make me do shit. Right. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I made me do.
Right.
And so, girl, that is the most important shit to me in the whole wide world.
Yeah.
It's more it's more important than my mama, than fucking honeypot, than money. It's more important than fucking food and water. It is more important than air to me.
Yeah. To take ownership of your own self-image and make sure that's number one.
Fuck my image, to take ownership in what I can control for myself. Because there's so much that I can't.
Right.
And to take responsibility for my shit, for my projections, for my ego when it comes, right? Even though I want to die to it so badly, even though I don't even want to believe that it exists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But not wanting to take liberties from people.
Okay.
From their time.
Yeah.
Or their or anything.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm and on top of that, to really fucking believe in myself.
Yeah, that's a really important one. Yeah, I think that's great. That's a good answer. Yeah. Okay, so what have been some of, and I know everybody's is different, but you talked about wellness and holistic, taking care of yourself. What have been some of your own like skincare struggles, things that have troubled you with your skin?
Cheese is fucking delicious.
It is really good.
All the cheese, the vegan cheese, the fucking regular cheese. But it is like the devil to me. If I'm gonna eat cheese, I have to in any kind of cheese. Even if it's like diet, I have to charcoal, probiotics, a shit ton of water, right?
Yeah.
I need to do a scrub. You know what I mean? Eating fried food. When I was younger, I used to have acne, but I didn't know how to take care of my skin. That's normal because you're going through so much.
Yeah.
And I have I don't use anything but non-toxic stuff on my skin.
Right.
So my skin is, because of that, it's like baby skin.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like if something touches me that's not right, like I'm gonna get a bump there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me too.
So I have to be like, yes, I like take 2 or 3 showers a day. Doesn't matter what season it is. I have to use like normally I make my own shea butter and stuff like that.
Nice.
I even make my own feminine wash still. Like
That's
my
awesome.
feminine wash that I use at home is the one my grandmother told me. Not that the one that's on the market isn't. At the base of it, it is. But the one that I use is like original, hardcore, strong ass recipe.
Like in your kitchen.
Yes. You know, which this isn't necessarily the most non-toxic thing in the world, but the only lotion that I can use on my skin, like if I haven't made my stuff, is like Aveeno, and I use like the lavender one, you know. So yeah, I have to be like really conscientious about my skin, and I try to be conscientious about my gut, because if I'm eating some bullshit, it's gonna show up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
So I've become very. I don't even want to say I've become. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've become like very diligent about what I eat.
Yeah. You know? I think I was before quarantine started, and then I've been eating a lot of ice cream and cheese and all those things. And then I'll be like, what's wrong with my skin?
Right. That's why. Right.
I know the answer. I just don't want to know the answer.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's really funny. Okay, awesome. And I love how you said keep it non-toxic and just keep it, you know, to the basics, kind of what you said, like the original, you're making your own shea butter. Like, I think that's great.
Yeah. I try to live really minimal and really simple. Beautiful at the same time, but really, really, really simple.
Yeah.
You know, it takes me 30 minutes to get dressed.
Yeah. I like to keep it simple too. Yeah, I agree. Everything that like streamlines it and makes you feel better and not a whole lot of fuss. So I totally agree.
Right.
Okay. What have been your biggest accomplishments and why? I'm sure you have a lot to choose from.
You know, honestly, eating well, working out every day, or at least like sometimes it's 5 days a week. Sometimes it might be 3 if I'm traveling or something like that.
Right.
But I'll still like get a walk in or something, you know, I'll still move.
Right.
Self-awareness and my belief in myself and my love for myself and my grace for myself. That to me, those have been huge accomplishments for me.
Yeah. Those are big ones.
Yeah. Loving how I want to be loved. My relationship to my mom and my brothers. You know.
Yeah.
Those are huge accomplishments for me.
Yeah, those are good ones.
And being okay with myself. You know, honey pot is an accomplishment. Don't make me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's a huge accomplishment, but it's not my personal biggest accomplishment.
Right. Right.
You know?
Yeah. It seems like a theme that I'm hearing with you is like all the stuff on the inside and all the things that you do to take care of yourself are paramount to the other things that you'll do. And I totally agree. Yeah. Okay.
Paramount to everything.
So I have two more questions for you, I think. Okay.
Whatever you need, honey.
Okay, awesome. What are some words of wisdom that you live by? Like maybe just during a tough time that propelled you through, or even just on a daily basis, things that keep you going.
Every night, mostly every night, I listen to Pema Chodron's Learning to Stay Present. It's a 27-minute audio book. It's not even a real book.
Yeah.
You good? Okay. And it literally just focuses on the art of being present, just being here. So being present is big. learn how to die is like some real shit. Like that's like tatted on my.
Oh wow, yeah, it really is. That's pretty. Actually, it was really pretty.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you know, for me, that's like understanding that if I'm learning how to do that, because every day we're doing that, right? Like that is finite. That shit's gonna happen, right? You're gonna leave this planet from this body anyway,
right?
And so I live like I'm here for it. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Want to go to fucking Japan next week? Let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
so is learn how to die like a philosophy around living your life while you're here on Earth? Is that the?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
And the stoic practice of only focusing on what you can control.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not good with that with everything, but you know,
you're working.
I am really good with it with other things, you know.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, awesome. Okay, so this one, what's one big thing that you did not know before you started your entrepreneurial journey that you wish you'd known, like before this all started, that would have been helpful to know?
Oh man, I'm so like unregretful.
Yeah.
So well, that's a hard one.
Maybe put it this way, like if you were going to pass on to someone who's listening, who's going to start their entrepreneurial journey, like something that they don't tell you in a book or something like that. Yeah.
Look, make a lot of fucking mistakes. Learn from them. Be extremely kind to the people that you work with. And don't look at them like they work for you, right? They fucking work with you. They could choose to work anywhere, and they choose to be here on this journey with you. You know, and you know, listen. I could have done that better. I can always do that better. Listening. Okay. That's one. Listen and die to your ego, man.
Yeah.
Real shit. Yeah. Until you figure out that it don't exist, which takes a lot of fucking work. Die to it. Fall on your sword. Say you're sorry. Pay attention.
Yeah.
And like really give a fuck. You know? Yeah.
That's a simple enough piece of advice. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's powerful. Thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
Okay, my last question for you. You're a part of the Beauty of the Nile community now, which I'm so happy about.
That's such a pretty name, by the way.
Beauty
of the Nile.
Thank you. What does being a part of the Beauty of the Nile community mean to you?
I guess the way that it felt when you just said that is getting back to nature.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
I think that's a great
getting back to like, cause like every living thing is naturally intelligent, you know. So when I hear that, that's what I heard.
Yeah, I like that. That's a really beautiful way to put it. Naturally intelligent, naturally beautiful. Yeah, I think that's great. Okay, awesome. Well, this has been awesome. And those are all the questions I have for you. But thank you for being a part of this with me and sharing with me like this. It's, for me personally, it's like kind of a dream come true because I'm a real fan, not just of like what you've built, but truly of like the way you carry yourself and the energy that you put out. So I'm thankful that you've chosen to be here with me today. So thank you.
I'm thankful that you chose to be here with me today. Thank you.
I hope you all have had as much fun with this conversation as I have. I loved what Bea shared about her road to entrepreneurial success and what it's been like. And I really enjoyed her perspective on the ways in which feminine care and beauty are intertwined. I'm excited to continue to elevate our voices and highlight the knowledge of women of color. I know I learned a lot of great info today that I'll put into practice right away. I hope you will too. This is Jasmine Mobley, and you've been listening to the Beauty of the Nile podcast. Beauty of the Nile is your space for skin tips, makeup tricks, inspiration, and motivation. We are here to celebrate and highlight our skin's beauty. Say it with me. Love your brown skin. Be sure you catch the next episode's amazing guests who will be dropping gems. For fabulous beauty inspiration, especially for brown skin, get our free newsletter subscription at beautyofthenile.com. We cannot wait to connect and share with you. Until next time, enjoy life.